listening to the Savvy Musician Show with Leah McHenry, and this is your secret weapon for success in the new music industry.
Welcome to the Savvy Musician Show. This is CJ Ortiz, branding and mindset coach for the Savvy Musician Academy, joined once again by the lovely Leah McHenry. How you doing, Leah?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. Always a pleasure to sit across from you, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, we're doing this virtually.
That's right. We can see each other. We can certainly hear each other. But again, always a pleasure to be on this podcast. We've been getting such great feedback. We want to thank everybody who has taken the time to leave a review and give us some 5-star ratings on the respective podcast channels. And that's always something that you can do. We can't say this enough. Please just do us that solid. Get on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, wherever you hear this podcast, Stitcher, and leave a comment and review it. Give us some stars so that we can keep rising up the ranks. We want this to be the #1 show for music marketing. And it may be, Leah. I have no idea. But I know it's to get a lot of downloads, but not enough for you.
Yeah. Well, yes, we do want to be, the best that we can be for everybody. And I have other colleagues in the same, industry who are out there teaching, and they're all experts in their own fields. We all have something different to offer. So it's all about who you connect with and who you can learn from. But I'm definitely competitive, that's for sure. So in a healthy way. So I want to be the best. I want to offer the best information I can, and it's only going to benefit you. So
That's
there you
right.
go.
I've had so many conversations with Leah about opt-in rates on an ad campaign, or downloads of a podcast, or views of a video, or sales of an album, etc. And there's never been a time where she did not talk about getting the numbers up. But never once did she ever talk about going off and buying something crazy or doing something weird with money, or we've never had that conversation. So I know she is a results-oriented kind of person, and it also shows up in what she does for her students. I see this all the time. She wants them to get those phenomenal results. So Leah, be honest with you, it's great because I deal with a lot of people. It's great to deal with someone who's very, very results-driven, and we want that in those who are a part of these courses and the elite group, right? We want them to be numbers oriented.
Yeah, you can be artsy fartsy all day long, but at the end of the day, what's going to matter is what were the results that were accomplished. Because at the end of the day, we all have bills to pay. We have, money makes the world go round. None of this, we can't do anything without the money. So that's right. Results matter. In your campaigns, what you're doing with your music, your email list, like all this stuff matters, the numbers matter. And so everything I teach has to provide a result. I don't teach anything unless it's getting me a result.
Right.
And that's my standard.
Yeah. And so a lot of planning and things go into that, and a lot of follow through goes into that to create these kind of results. And that's kind of what we're talking about today, Leah. We're talking about the keys to implementing your plans and ensuring that you will take action. You get this question a lot, don't you?
I do. We have a lot of people who are asking, I've got a plan, or I'm in one of the programs, and I have my goals that I want to accomplish, but how do I make myself do it? Because it's so hard. I find myself falling off the wagon. I have a hard time sticking to things. Life gets in the way. Schedules change, and there's just I have curveballs thrown at me, and I just can't seem to get to the end result that I'm after. So we hear about this a lot.
Well, so we're going to talk about today in episode 55. I want to start with just a student spotlight. These are always cool. Today is from Jacqueline Caruso, who gives us a win from the elite group, who said, I just wanted to share some of the success I've been having on Facebook and Instagram with engagement. This has been a goal of mine forever, but more recently, after our call with one of the coaches, it became a main focus. We've learned that before our ads can perform well, our posts need to perform well with the audience we want to cultivate. So she said she shared a couple posts that have blown her away, where she was putting some of these principles into effect, and they have proven effective. She says, I've been testing and hoping for things to work on my pages for almost 3 years now. But once you know the principles, you don't need to hope anymore. I want to encourage you, the other students, to keep testing the principles and building the confidence to achieve great success. Small successes keep me going on this long climb to a sustainable music business. That's pretty cool.
Right on.
Applying the principles. She's been struggling with this for 3 years, but the coin finally dropped after a call where she realized just how important that engagement really was. And so she needed to see things differently. But I love that and you didn't see that, but she actually put the word hoping in quotation marks because the point being is that there are principles taught here, Leah, that, as you said, it's all about the results. And so that's what we're trying to get these students to experience. And nothing is as motivating as results. Until you could have listened to 100 motivational speakers, and nothing is going to bring more motivation out of you, your own motivation, than you getting to see some results and some problems solved for your music business. So I know that's a huge thing.
Yep.
I want to start with a simple definition. Okay, we're going to define the word implement, because that's what we're talking about. Keys to implementing your plans and ensuring you're going to take action. The word implement means to put a plan into effect. Right? So put a plan into effect. So what good is a plan if you don't implement and follow through? And Leah, I know a lot of very successful people. I know a lot of hardworking people. You're probably one of the biggest planners and implementers that I think I've ever met. So let's start with you. Talk to us about implementation.
That's funny you say that. I've heard that from others as well, like coaches of mine, mentors of mine. They're always amazed whenever they give us advice. Like, we immediately go to work on their advice. And of course we get really good results because I don't delay. If there's something that's going to work better than what I'm currently doing, I put it into effect right now. I don't wait for a rainy day. I don't wait for, it's not really a good time for me to do that. I have other important things. I clear my schedule and I go, I'm implementing this thing right now. What do I need to do? What do I need to do to reverse engineer this? What do I got to do? Let's do it. So I think there's something to be said about not procrastinating, not delaying, and being an action taker. I think, if you study successful people in history and current successful people, billionaires and all that, you'll find that they're all action takers. They don't hum and haw about things. They don't take forever to make a decision. They usually make quick decisions, not because they're rash, but because they know time is of the essence. And, they have enough wisdom and experience that they can make good decisions. We're not always going to make good decisions. Sometimes it'll be a mistake. So what? You'll get over it. You'll learn. But make a decision and then move on it. Move. Don't sit there and think about it. That's not helping you. So that's one thing. I guess that part comes naturally to me. Does not come natural to everybody. So let's just get that out of the way. It might be extremely uncomfortable for you to do that. And that's okay. But do it anyway.
Well, let's unpack this a little bit. It is in reference to you. Do you feel like this is just your natural way of looking at things? I mean, what made you tend to be more action-oriented type of person?
I think it all really changed for me when I started doing this in my own music business. Instead of you come to a point where you can read and read and read and read, and you can consume and consume and consume, and you're no better off than you were a year ago. Until you actually do something and you put your money on the line and you take a risk and you actually take that leap of faith and start implementing and don't worry so much about the risk as the result. When I started getting a result in my music business, it was like, hey, when I put something in motion, things happen. It's really weird how this universe works. When you take action, it actually produces something, a result. And I don't mean to sound all metaphysical, but It's a fact. It actually sometimes it blows my mind about how thoughts have such an effect on people. Like they're intangible. In a materialistic world, thoughts shouldn't mean anything, really, if you think about it. They shouldn't have any effect. I could say, I'm a triangle, right? And or whatever. And it shouldn't have any effect. It shouldn't have any meaning, but because thoughts have meaning and they have substance. And when you take an action in the world, it will produce some kind of result, whether it's a reaction or something. It encourages you when you actually see the effects of that activity. It's like, the more I do, the more effects it's going to have. And yeah, I find that incredibly motivating. It's like, if I want to make $1,000 in my music business, all I have to do is come up with a sale or send these emails or put up this ad. If I take this action, I will get a result. It doesn't always mean it's a result I would like, but it will, right? Because that's the reality, but it will happen. So I'm encouraged by that. It sounds so simplistic, but
no, well, that's the thing. It's so simple that people work overtime to help us misunderstand it. And I mean, whether you take action or don't take action, you're going to get a result, right? It definitely will not be the results that you want. There's something very true to the premise that the two motives for what we do is either to avoid pain or gain pleasure, right? So, Leah, at some level then, for those who struggle with putting a plan into effect, they're trying to avoid pain. Has to be. Because if the action would create, obviously, pleasure, because it would create results that you want, sales, for example, then why would you avoid that pleasure unless you feared a greater pain? Mm-hmm. And so the greater pain is taking action. So we can call it laziness. We can call it procrastination. But it really is what you said. It's a way of thinking. It's a way that your thought processing is to where you honestly believe the pain of doing the work is greater than the pleasure you would get from making sales. Yeah. And that's just weird. Yeah. But people literally do that. Why else would they avoid the work?
Yeah. I always say, pick your pain. It's all painful in a way, like having to do it, stick with something, be diligent, even when you hit bumps in the road, even when it's not easy, similar to, an exercise program or a diet or something. If you have the pain of that discipline of putting in the work and sticking to something, or you can have the pain of not doing any of it and being worse off. So pick your pain. But the thing is, by sticking to your plan, by sticking it out and being disciplined, and you are also, in addition to that pain, you're going to have this huge reward at the end of it too. So I'd much rather have that pain than the other one. So
absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. It is a distorted way of thinking. And if you do think that way, don't feel bad initially. We're not here to shame you. We're not here to make you feel bad. If you're guilty, just raise your hand and say guilty. I throw myself on the mercy of the court, and it's done with it. Guilt and self-condemnation, feeling bad about these things is not going to help you get your goals made real any faster. So you can't get there faster by feeling bad about yourself. But if the shoe fits, that's good. Because you know why? Because we can change you. Okay?
That's the good news.
That's the good news. We can change you if this is just the circumstances, if the musical gods have just chosen you to never be able to fulfill your dream of being a full-time musician. We can't change the view of the musical gods. That's just life. Life has allotted you for failure. There's nothing we can do. There's no point in even trying. You're just destined to fail. We know that's not the case. The problem is all on our end. We can change that. So don't feel bad if you feel this way. Let's just change it. Let's make some adjustments in your mindset. Like, for example, we just talked about, our motives being the avoidance of pain or the gain of pleasure. So if that's the case, then we need to beef up the other side, right? So My guess would be, Leah, that in your case, you do well at this because you have a pretty solid grasp of the results. You have a pretty solid grasp of the feeling that you're going to have if you get these particular results. So what that does is that minimizes your view of the pain. You don't dress up the pain. You don't exaggerate the pain, right?
I put very little focus on my current discomfort, and I put a lot of focus on what I want my future to look like. In fact, I probably put like 90% of my focus is on what do I want this to look like? What do I want the result to be? And I just focus in on that. My current discomfort in getting there is irrelevant. It is not important. Just do what needs to be done. So, and so for that reason, I mean, there are a lot of people who struggle so bad just getting even the motivation to get out of bed. And I just don't relate to that mentality at all. Because I can't, I've got this fire in me to want to keep making music, and I can't stop even if I wanted to. My brain will start writing music in my sleep if I stop long enough, it will. And I think a lot of people will feel the same way. And the same thing with teaching. I think there's a lot of people, there are times where I get sick and tired of dealing with people and dealing with whiners and complainers and needy people, and this should be free and blah, blah, blah. I get sick and tired of it and I think, I want to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. You guys suck. But there's other people that, I don't think I can quit even if I wanted to, because it's in me. I've got this drive. I need to share. I have to share. I feel obligated to share what I'm learning with the world. And so that drives me forward. And my current discomfort doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is making an impact, and we are laying the groundwork right now in a society that is extremely entitled, a society that is extremely self-centered and narcissistic, and they want all the benefits without putting in any of the work. This is the society we're dealing with right now. And then in the music industry, we're dealing with people who have no idea what to do with their career because of the internet and all this stuff. So we're laying a groundwork here that hopefully will have some amazing positive ramifications for years to come. And so for that reason, that keeps me going.
Yeah, I get this a lot, Leah, on my side of things. For those who don't know, I have my own project that I do called Metal Motivation. It's motivational content and coaching and personal development for people who love heavy metal, really for anybody, but that's just sort of the brand that it's under. But I get that a lot too, where people will write in and say, yeah, but CJ, what about the person who doesn't want to do it or is struggling all the time, can't get themselves out of bed? And like yourself, I'm just like, well, I don't understand that mentality. I don't understand that way of thinking. And then people will come back to me and say, yeah, but that sounds elitist. I said, it's not elitist at all. Not at all. Well, then shouldn't you be doing something for those people who can't seem to get out of bed and can't get themselves to do things? I said, no, I'm not designed for them. I'm not called to them, at least not now. They said, well, then how will they get any kind of help? I said, listen, this is the way you have to look at it. I'm there for the person who's ideal for me, who's trying to really do something, needs some more information, needs some more help, but they're ready. They're ready for the teacher. They're ready for the coach. If these other people, they want more out of life, but they're not willing to put any effort into doing it, right? If they're not willing to put an effort in to go get something out of life, then I will allow life to coach them.
Yeah.
And life will coach them with pain. And so at some point then, the pain of staying where they are will exceed then the pain that they're afraid of doing any kind of work, and then they'll eventually take action. That's when they'll start to take action. The discomfort has to become really uncomfortable before they'll get out of this mediocre stage of just settling and compromising and complacency and apathy. It's not going to happen until that discomfort gets uncomfortable. Now, part of my job as a coach, however, some have mentors. I'm a tour mentor. So that means sometimes I may try to make you a little more frustrated with where you are. You're not frustrated enough. You're not uncomfortable enough. But like the mother eagle, I'm going to stick thorns in the nest because it's time for you to get out of the nest. It's time for you to take flight. It's time for you to take some action on these things. And you're never going to get there until I kick your little furry butt out of the nest. And, so to do that means I need to paint a picture, right, of what your life could be like. And Leah, you do that all the time, painting a picture for people using your own example of what their music business could be like. Imagine what it would be like if you could even if it was just a great part-time income with your music. I think most people would be happy with that.
Would you really complain if that was
would you really complain
a year from now?
Well, the only thing that's standing in the way is just the investment of time and effort. That's it.
Yeah. And the whole consistency thing. You said something in the past that I've talked about in workshops that we've done since then about the whole I'll believe it when I see it thing, where we actually, I don't know, was it you said this also, but I heard that people don't actually do anything like go get a cup of coffee unless they first envisioned themselves doing it.
Sure.
Like you don't make a decision to even like get in your car and go somewhere unless you first had a mental picture in your mind of you getting in there and doing that thing. So you first envisioned it and then you took action. So when it comes to implementing, I think you just got to be way more intentional about it. Those things that we're doing are automatic, in the everyday life scenario. But when it comes to building a business, building your music career, creating sustainable monthly income, you have to be so much more intentional with it. So we talked about being an action taker, moving quickly, move now. If there's a training that you need, do it now. Don't wait. That's really important. All successful people have that one thing in common. And then also being intentional about picturing what you want that future to look like. And it sounds like I'm not a big fan of the woo-woo, whatever manifestation crap out there. I'm not going to hide that. I really don't like a lot of it. I think a lot of it is garbage, but there's something really to be said for being super intentional with what that is. What does that look like? I want, even if it's just like a certain amount of like a number of income, you want $1,000 a month consistently. That's a great place to start. So that's being intentional and picturing it. What will life look like when you have that $1,000 coming in consistently every single month? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to reinvest it? Are you going to blow it? What are you going to do? Right. So there's something does get loosed, I think, when you say something out loud, I want to do this, and then you put actions behind it, something very powerful happens.
Yeah, and you're always going to be motivated by results. So it's why I will often tell people to, get their physical health in order. So diet, nutrition, all that sort of thing, because you need to see tangible results in something in order to train your mind to believe that you're not just blowing a bunch of law of attraction nonsense into your head, that you're seeing very real world results. But in another side, and I do this exercise with a lot of people when it comes to procrastination or when it comes to laziness, and it's a just simple visualization exercise you can do anytime. If you need to clean your room, organize your garage, if you need to get to the gym, I don't care what state of mind you're in. I don't care if you are, picture your most lazy time on the couch. You've been there surfing channels, eating a bag of chips. The last thing you want to do, it's a Sunday afternoon, is go to the gym and do any kind of, get on the treadmill. It's the last thing in your mind. You're tired, but you're stuck now. You're stuck because you're in this habit of laziness and surfing and, the TV. In that moment, just do this. Just close your eyes. And for just a couple minutes, I just want you to picture yourself doing the very thing you don't want to do. So picture yourself driving to the gym real quick, getting on the treadmill, but just picture yourself happy about it, excited about it, and then picture yourself running on it, smiling. And just picture it. Okay, now open your eyes and then look around the room, and there's the TV on, there's the bag of chips on your lap. Now close your eyes again, and let's do it again. And let's make the smile even bigger on your face, and let's see yourself doing it. Now let's see you lifting up some weights and, focusing on your muscles and just doing things and being really happy about it. And just keep seeing that for just 2 or 3 minutes. We could do that. I can have you stand in front of a messy room and have you close your eyes and picture yourself picking up that room, seeing the end result clean and all of that. Then open your eyes, you see the dirty room, close it again, envision the same thing again. What'll happen is your feelings are going to follow your consistent thoughts. It's as simple as that. And so I guarantee you do that for 5 to 10 minutes sitting there on that couch, and you will get up and turn it off. You will put that bag of chips aside. You will get in your car and you will go to the gym. I guarantee it. You're not as lazy as you think you are, but that's the key. Think you are.
That is
right?
really good. That whole, your feelings will follow your thoughts.
Yeah.
That is very, so if you're intentional about your thoughts, you're saying the feelings will follow that.
Right.
That
And
is really powerful.
and that's the
For those
want
who
to.
do, yeah, for those who do struggle with motivation, maybe, is there something we can speak to about consistency? Because I know that's a big thing for people, where they say, well, I have this plan and I'm good at starting it, but I'm not good at like staying on track.
Right. I think everybody, we all understand that, how many days it takes. There's a debate about how many days it actually takes to create a habit. I think the most important thing that people have to get into is today. It's like the concept of worry, right? Tomorrow will worry about itself, right? Yesterday is obviously already gone. The only thing you truly have is today. And so that lightens your load a whole lot. Right? Is that all you got to do is create today. But I think exactly. I think the important thing is when somebody, because I get that question often, is about, they have a problem with, they say, I get excited about things and I get started, okay, but then I fall back to my same old habit. So how am I going to get this type of consistency? And I said, well, the problem is not that you struggle with being consistent in that one thing you're trying to do. The problem is in your mindset altogether, which means then you have to get a taste for achievement. And that's the thing we don't have. We don't have a taste for achievement. And because we don't have that taste, we're inconsistent. And because we're inconsistent, we lack something. And that lacking is confidence. And confidence is based on the word confide, right? If I confide in Leah, it's because I trust her to keep the information secret. I confide in her. But it's taken from the word fide, which means belief, right? So if I believe in Leah, then I know she's going to show up when she says she's going to show up. I know she's going to do what she says she's going to do, right? So I have confidence, fide. I have confidence in Leah that she's going to do what she says she's going to do. We don't have confide or confidence in ourselves. We don't believe in us. But why would I believe in Leah and not believe in me? Because Leah's given me evidence of it, right? She's proven herself to me. All I need to do is to prove to me that I can do things on a regular basis. Well, then how do you do that? You have to make it less daunting. In other words, the most important thing you can do, it's not so much, even if I told you to put certain plans that you're struggling with on hold for a little bit. I just want to spend a couple of months with you teaching you how to get a taste for achievement, teaching you how to get a taste for daily discipline. And so to do that, I may not need to address these bigger things. We're going to put those on hold because we're going to rewire your brain so that you can do those things. So we're just going to do little things every day, because the reason why you don't confide in yourself, you don't have confidence, is because of a multiplicity of a bunch of little defeats that have added up over time. Right? It's just a bunch of little defeats like bricks in a wall that have added up over time. And how we're going to reverse this is we're going to get you a bunch of little victories that are going to start to add up in the next 30, 60, 90 days. Just a lot of little victories. And we're going to exaggerate these things.
That's awesome.
So we're just going to say, hey, making the bed, cleaning this, or making sure you always, like one of the things that I have here, just I do not want to wake up every morning to a kitchen that's dirty. Right? I always want the kitchen clean every day. So that's a simple thing. Just, okay, every day I will make sure before I go to bed, I'll take the 15 or 20 minutes it takes to clean all the dishes out or whatever. If I do that, I'll make a big deal about it. Just like I did when my little kid first ate his peas. Because I wanted him, we talked about this before, I wanted him to think that eating your peas is a super great thing. So
yeah, make a big deal.
We make a really big, yeah, you ate your peas. Isn't that wonderful? Same thing with you. Pick something that you're going to do, 2 or 3 things that are small every day. They don't have to be your big plans yet. Maybe they can be a portion of them. They could just be something around the house. Do something every day. And let's, for the next 30, 60, or 90 days, whatever it takes for you, let's rewire your brain for being a daily achiever.
That's brilliant. That's
Simple
brilliant.
as that.
So you guys, like, if you heard this and you were one of those people who asked us about that, I expect that you are going to implement this. This is advice and things that people normally pay for with CJ. So you better appreciate it. You better thank him. You better leave us a raving review of this episode. I want to hear what your 1 or 3 small things are that you've chosen to implement, whether it's just like, I'm going to wash my face every morning and before I didn't. I don't care what it is. If it's that or making your bed or drinking a glass of water first thing when you wake up, something like that where it's just incremental, small, and consistent that you're doing all the time. You better thank him for that. The other thing I wanted to bring up, because this is a statistic that Steve actually shared in a group, in our elite group, just to kind of kick everybody's butt. There's a statistic that he learned that only 9 to 12% of people who ever join a program ever finish it.
Wow.
And so we were doing that to just light a fire under everyone's butts, because even in our elite mentorship program, people have invested a lot of money into this program, into their selves, into their coaching. And there are some people who have barely logged in, and it blows my mind. So, and this happens at all levels, by the way, whether it's like a $10 product or $1,000 program or whatever it is. There's people who spent money on university and missed all their classes, right? The problem is not the program, it's you. You're the problem. And what is with this phenomenon, though, of people investing into themselves? And even sometimes when they have skin in the game, they're still not showing up. They're still falling off the wagon. They're still not logging in, doing the work. Why? What is wrong with people?
Now, what was this? Yeah, the emotional impulse to, we do that all the time, right? Spend some money because we think we're going to do something, and then we leave it. The membership at the gym or whatever it may be, we spend this money and we don't do it. But like we said before, right? If we know the problem is us, then that's good news, because we can always change us. And which is why I think what we just talked about is so important, that we really want you guys to rewire yourself. This is a long game we're in. It's a long game. And if you're going to succeed in music, think of it that way. So sometimes you want to get the things, and the hardest things to do sometimes, Leah, are the things that are the most fundamental, right? People want to jump, like when you put out a course and there's level 1, level 2, and level 3. People say, well, just send me workbook for level 3. I don't need to do level 1 or level 2. For some reason, we are averse to the fundamental things that we need to do that lay the groundwork for the rest of the things that we do. And if you're stumbling over something as simple as implementing a course that you invested a lot of money in, we have a brain problem. We have a simple brain problem. And so for you, again, I would spend time rewiring your brain for achievement, because that's all that's standing in the way between you and your goals. Work. That's it. And you have a problem with work.
Yeah. Ouch.
It's a 4-letter word, W-O-R-K.
Oh, this is so good, guys. I hope that you're getting a lot out of this, because it's even good. It's good for me to hear, even though, I don't relate to any of it.
Yeah. I've never made a mistake, so we're just doing this for the listener, man.
Yeah.
No, it can get the best of us, all of us at some point. And, we have a saying is higher levels, bigger devils.
That's good. Yeah.
So, when it's Leah's success, it doesn't mean she is excused. It just means the burdens and the responsibilities and the disciplines that she has to maintain are only that much bigger.
I'm telling you, that is the truth.
But all of the victories that she's done along the way have equipped her for where she is now. And that's part of why the journey is as difficult as it is. So that this is why those people who have a sudden rise to success, whether they're an actor or a musician or what have you, why they fall so hard is because they didn't have that arduous journey up to the top.
They don't have the character behind it to support the success.
Just can't do it. And so, yes, achieving success is just another, climb up that steep, muddy slope, but it's worth it, because on top of that mountain, as I like to say, on top of the mountain that you are so afraid to climb is a stronger version of you.
Amen. That's good. That's a great note to leave off on too. Yeah.
So implement, guys. Implement today. Leah, what do you want them to do today?
Well, So if you're serious about wanting to build your online music business and you want us to help you, you want the accountability, because that's one of the issues that some people have with implementing is they just need an extra layer of accountability. Well, we're providing that in quite a big way, in a way that I've never seen it done before at all in the music industry. And my goal is that nobody will. We are here to serve. We're here to help you implement. That's what we're all about. And if you want that level of accountability and implementation, we are ready to speak with you on the phone. Give us a call at callsma.com and book a call, and we'll definitely help you out and see how we can hold you accountable to your goals.
Awesome. And again, guys, like we said before, please leave a review, give us some stars, and we want to take this to the top and produce more results for the Savvy Musician Show. Once again, this is CJ. What a pleasure to be with you again, Leah. Thank you. Sign us off.
See you later, guys.
This episode was sponsored by the Superfan System Elite program here at Savvy Musician Academy. If you are looking to scale your existing music business and you're looking to get into advanced digital marketing, such as email marketing, funnels, e-commerce, Facebook ads, and more, and you're looking to build a real profitable online music business, book a call with our team at www.callsma.com. We would love to speak with you for about 30 minutes and see how we can help you. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast for more episodes, and we'll see you next time.